Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Our next weather maker arrives tomorrow as a cold front that will bring us rain. I'll show you how it could affect the evening commute.
Plus, police kill a man who was holding an axe. We're live in Pinehurst, where investigators have been all morning, and how all of this stemmed from the scene of a house fire.
And keeping children healthy, how new legislation lawmakers just filed aims to make it harder for young people to get vape and tobacco products.
Well, right now at noon, we are tracking the potential for more storms on our way. Maybe nice today. It is nice today right now, but tomorrow is going to be a different story. I want to thank you for joining us at noon. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey in for Nate Chu. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is out on the WRAL weather patio. We are possibly going to be in a WRAL weather alert day tomorrow. What does that look like, Elizabeth?
So the criteria for a weather alert day is any time that you could really be affected by precipitation or any kind of weather that's coming through. And of course, during the evening commute, it tends to get, pretty, gunked up, even if there's just a bit of rain. And this looks like it could be some steady to moderate rain and some thunderstorms that come through. I wouldn't expect it to be severe weather. We're looking at maybe up to around half an inch of rain. Could be some pockets where it's a little heavier than that. The storms themselves may be isolated, but the rain will not. The rain will be widespread for us right through the evening commute. It may, on the benefit side, help to drop the pollen levels for a little bit. Probably by the weekend, they would come right back up. Let's check out Futurecast. Tomorrow morning, we may end up with some sunshine to begin with, but it'll be fairly short-lived. There's lunchtime. Notice we get to 2 o'clock and we start to see some of the rain developing, and it looks pretty heavy there around 3 to 4 o'clock. The yellow and orange shaded areas are where the rain would be a little heavier, and that could be with us all the way up until around 6 o'clock. Then it starts to slide eastward and eventually out of the viewing area between, say, 8 and 9. But again, right through the evening commute, we have the potential for it to at least be moderate to steady. Partly cloudy to mostly cloudy in the morning, but this is not going to be an issue for the morning commute tomorrow. Grab the umbrella and have it with you. As a matter of fact, if you have errands to run or meetings to go to at noon, you'll also be fine. It's likely to be after 2 o'clock before we see the showers and thunderstorms developing, but mid to late afternoon through the evening commute, it may slow the drive a bit with the potential for some rain and storms and some ponding on the roads. Coming up, we're going to talk about how much rain we could see and how much cooler it will be behind this front.
Thanks, Elizabeth, and make sure to stay ahead of the storm by downloading the WRAL News app. You can sign up for push alerts to go straight to your phone. You can also follow along on the radar to see where the storm is and when it's hitting near you. It is free to download.
Breaking news this noon.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
We do have that breaking news. We're following a man who's dead after being shot by a Pinehurst police officer. And we learned he came out of a home on Remington Lane holding an axe before all this happened this morning. Sky 5 flew over that scene as police responded. WRAL's Chelsea Donovan is live there now. And Chelsea, we are learning new details about how all this happened.
Yeah, Jeff, so we're here on Remington Lane and Gun Club Drive. You can see crime scene tape still up after close to 5 hours. Investigators are still on the scene. The shooting and the fire took place just right over the crest of that hill. Just to give you an idea, though, of where we're at, we're just steps away from legendary Pinehurst number 8. So this is a very quiet community. Let's show you Sky 5 video of the scene early this morning. This initially was called out as a suspicious person on Remington Lane. Fire crews responded there as smoke was coming from the home. And when they got there, they saw a man with an axe charging at police, and that's when 2 Village of Pinehurst police officers first used a taser to stop the man threatening and charging at them. Then they fired their weapons, they say, to protect themselves. And according to police, they say the man was transported to a local hospital where he then later died. Those that live here in the village are just stunned to see all of this police presence.
I've never had a gunshot out here. I'm not saying it never happened. I've never had a gunshot out here in the time I've been here. And I've been here well over 20 years.
Obviously, a lot of unanswered questions here from the village of Pinehurst. We know that no police or firefighters were injured. As per protocol, those two officers that discharged their weapons are on administrative leave. That's because the SBI comes in to start their investigation. Of course, we'll be on the scene throughout the day, and we'll bring you more information as it unfolds. Live in Pinehurst, Chelsea Donovan, WRAL News.
Your time is 12:03 here in the WRAL Live Center. A different type of police response that's happening right now, and this is at the CIA headquarters in McLean, Virginia. This is happening right now. You're seeing a live image right here on our feeds that we have. We know there's a SWAT team and other authorities from Arlington and Fairfax counties there in that state. There appears to be a bomb squad there as well, according to that Fox News station in D.C. And we're watching very closely to see what unfolds here. In terms of what led to all of this, that's not quite clear. It's being described as a barricade incident at the CIA headquarters right there. You'll see there are plenty of authority vehicles there, including the SWAT vehicles right here, and up there as well. So I'm going to keep on monitoring the feeds as well as some of the local news reports from different NBC/Fox affiliates there, as we have affiliates here at WRAL. As soon as I have more information, I'll report that here in the WRAL Live Center.
All right, thank you, Chris. Crews are still searching for a 7-year-old who disappeared in the Tar River. This as it enters a third day. Sky 5 flew over the scene this morning in Franklin County, where crews returned with cadaver dogs. The boy fell into the river on Monday afternoon and did not resurface. Crews have been using boats and drones to try and find him. And a man is dead after he was hit by an SUV while his truck was stuck on the side of a road in Sampson County. Highway Patrol says the crash happened on Dr. Kerr Road near Wildcat Road just after 9 last night. 81-year-old Oscar Chestnut of Harrells got stuck while attempting a 3-point turn. He got out of his truck and tried to flag down help. An SUV hit his truck and then hit him. Investigators say no impairment is suspected. We are working to learn whether any charges will be filed.
4 Goldsboro police officers are being disciplined for their handling of an arrest earlier this year. The Goldsboro Police Department says their internal investigation into the arrest of 27-year-old Talik Carter is complete. They say the use of force was justified, but 4 officers violated policies related to professionalism and communication. Video shared with WRAL back in January shows the interaction. You see officers surround Carter. He is then kicked and falls to the ground. Police say Carter was armed and resisted arrest. He was charged with trespassing, assault on a law enforcement officer, resisting arrest, and other offenses. Happening today, physicians' assistants from across North Carolina are meeting with state lawmakers about a new bill. It would allow North Carolina PAs to practice in other states. Now, PAs and PA students from across more than 100 districts statewide are speaking with lawmakers in Raleigh. They're advocating for Senate Bill 190. That bill would allow North Carolina to join the PA licensure compact along with Virginia and Tennessee. And that means PAs in North Carolina would practice in those states, could practice in those states without needing any additional licenses.
We really want to be able to remove those barriers, streamline the process, and allow there to be increased access to care.
Well, right now, the Senate Health Committee is reviewing the bill, and we're working to get an update on when there could be a vote on it.
New at noon, lawmakers announced new legislation aimed at reducing the amount of vaping among young people. WRAL's Noah Klein is here with how they hope to bring down those numbers. Noah.
Michelle, the goal here is to get the age people can buy vape and tobacco products up to 21. That would be in line with federal law. Take a look at the map. Right now, North Carolina is 18. You can see it's just a handful of states where that's still the case. North Carolina, again, this is a new push from lawmakers. Republican Representative Donnie Loftus and Democratic Senator Gail Adcock filed this new legislation. They held a news conference in just about the last 2 hours or so talking about why this is so important. The sponsors call the proposal Solly's Law in remembrance of a North Carolina teenager who died from vaping. The WRAL documentary team covered Solomon, or Solly, Wynn's story and the youth vaping issue in the Gen V Teen Vaping in North Carolina documentary. Wynn's mom just spoke with WRAL investigative documentary reporter Kristen Severance about why she decided to come out today and advocate for this legislation.
I had a choice. I could sit down on my couch, hold my dog, stare at the ceiling. I did a lot of that in the beginning. Or I could make a concentrated effort to make a difference, to honor my stepson, to make sure that no family goes through what we have been through.
The bill, it would also require a tobacco retail sales permit for stores selling vapes and tobacco products. North Carolina, meanwhile, is at risk of losing $5 million of federal funding for mental health prevention, treatment, and recovery services block grant funding if it doesn't effectively prevent underage sales of tobacco products to young people by the end of the year. You know, when we produced the documentary, we sent a young person undercover into stores to see if they would ID her when she went to buy a vape. That's to show just how easy it is for kids even younger than 18 to get these products. So we went to 12 stores to find out how many carded her. Head to WRAL.com, just go to the documentary section.
Here in the Live Center, I'm monitoring this story that's unfolding. President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky had a call at some point today discussing how to bring the Ukraine-Russia war to an end here. Really, the only information we know is that they spoke for about an hour today. In terms of specifics, not quite 100% clear, though we do know that the President Trump said that the call was to, quote, align both Russia and Ukraine in terms of their requests and the needs. So we suspect we'll get more information regarding what happens next, especially the possibility of a ceasefire. That's obviously something that's desired right now, but clearly having Ukraine's president come to the table, a significant update in trying to end that war.
Chris, thanks. Certainly been a wild ride for the stock market. And right now you're seeing the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 331 points. It has spent the entire morning in green, positive territory. NASDAQ is also up over 200 points, and the S&P 500 is up 52 points this noon.
UNC is advancing to the first round of the NCAA tournament. The team crushed San Diego State 95-68 in a battle of number 11 seeds in Dayton, Ohio. The Tar Heels led by as many as 40 points in the second half. We caught up with a fan who went to San Diego State but is a die-hard UNC fan.
I mean, this brings back some of the Glory Day moments that we're known for in March Madness, so hopefully all the magic takes over and Carolina can get back to what we know they can do and what they're showing San Diego State, and we can show the rest of the world that what happened earlier in the year was just working out some of the kinks. Tournament time's happening, and here we go.
Here we go. They'll play Ole Miss in Milwaukee Friday afternoon. First and second round NCAA games will also be held at Lenovo Center on Friday and Sunday.
Next at noon, waking up to gravity, what astronauts are feeling on their first day back on Earth, and what's next for them.
Also, it's a record measles outbreak for our country. How long the CDC says it could last.
Plus, the hottest decade on record at 12:30. Which year was the hottest out of the last 200 since experts started counting?
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.
The man who last saw the missing college student in the Dominican Republic was able to leave after being held and questioned in the case. Rebay filed a habeas corpus petition. It's a legal action people can take if they believe they are being held unfairly. He is believed to be the last person known to have seen a University of Pittsburgh student, Sudiksha Kanaki. Dominican authorities have not filed any criminal charges against him, but say his testimony is crucial to the investigation. And a federal judge has indefinitely blocked the Trump administration's ban on transgender people in the military. The ban was set to go into effect later this month, but in a scathing ruling, the judge that said the ban cannot be enforced because the administration has given no legitimate reason for it. The judge is pausing a preliminary injunction until Friday to give the White House time to appeal.
Purdue Pharma filed a new bankruptcy plan. The company says under this plan, it will be dissolved and its assets transferred to a new company. The new public benefit company will focus on the opioid epidemic. This comes about 2 months after the company and its owners agreed to a $7.4 billion settlement. Now, the deal will resolve thousands of lawsuits which allege OxyContin pain medication that caused a nationwide opioid addiction crisis. The CDC says the current measles outbreak could last a year. This comes as the U.S. has surpassed the total number of measles cases in all the country in all of last year. We're only 3 months into the year. So far this year, there have been 308 measles cases. In 2024, the agency reported 285 cases. Most of this year's measles cases are linked to a multi-state outbreak in Texas, New Mexico, and Oklahoma.
Astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sunny Williams waking up this morning to the feeling of gravity for the first time in 9 months. The pair returned down to Earth in a SpaceX capsule, bringing an end to their much longer than expected space tour. NBC's Tom Costello shares what's next for the two.
And splashdown, Crew 9 back on Earth.
Off the coast of Tallahassee, they made it look easy. A spectacular splashdown, marking the end of an unexpectedly long journey for astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sunny Williams. And overnight, the group arriving at NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston. Butch's daughter sharing a photo of their family reunion. It's been a long time coming after an unexpectedly 9.5-month tour on the International Space Station.
Nick, Alex, Butch, Sunny, on behalf of SpaceX, welcome home.
The pair hitched a ride back to Earth with astronaut Nick Hague and cosmonaut Alexander Gorbanov aboard a SpaceX Dragon capsule named Freedom. A 17-hour autonomous flight that landed with the help of a picture-perfect parachute deployment. Adding to the celebration, a pod of dolphins even appeared to join in welcoming Crew 9 back home. Recovery teams moving in. Some waves, some thumbs up, and a lot of smiles. With the flight portion of their mission now over, this morning the readjustment is now underway. That includes monitoring for any cardiac, blood pressure, vision, or neurological changes, and getting used to gravity. Astronaut Woody Hoberg logged 186 days on his first space flight.
I remember that first time attempting to walk. It almost felt like my legs were not attached to me.
And experts say their immune systems have also undergone changes during their 286 days in space.
They have to deal with being back on Earth. So that means all the little germs and bugs that we have. So their immune system has been suppressed over a period of time.
NASA says after they're evaluated and cleared, Butch and Sunny will get some well-deserved time off as they finally relax at home with their families.
Their families are the ones that really, kudos to them for being resilient in a planned short-duration flight now turning into a long duration.
That was NBC's Tom Costello reporting. Wilmore and Williams will be in Houston today for a full medical evaluation. But it's something you don't think about. We take for granted. We are able, I can feel my legs right now. So it's going to be interesting for them.
Yeah. 286 days in space, and they made 4,500 revolutions around the Earth.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Glad they're home safe.
Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
We take one spin around the patio outside Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Patio. Right now, it looks beautiful out there, Elizabeth.
It really is. I feel like there have been so many days so far this month that I've stood right here and said how wonderful it feels. I mean, the only thing that's about to change soon is the pollen numbers keep going up. I feel one of those fortunate people who don't really have to deal with it as much, but everybody's got to deal with that yellow pine pollen, and that's next. But it just feels so good out here. I mean, with low humidity, the temperature's not too warm. We don't have a lot of bugs. It's but it is pollen season. We take a live look at Apex. Plenty of people out and about there on Salem Street enjoying it. We had a bunch of guests here today, and some of them have been out on the patio behind me. I think most of them have. We still have a pocket of them. I think they're all out there exploring the gardens. That's another thing. I mean, another just couple of weeks, probably 2-3 weeks, and we're going to see a lot of azaleas back here behind me. 73 is our current temperature right now. We are on our way to 80 degrees in Raleigh, 81 in Durham, and 82 degrees in Fayetteville for just a gorgeous afternoon. We do have some cooler nights ahead. It is that time of year. It was a chilly start this morning, but it was not far from normal. Our temperature in the Triangle was in the mid-40s, and we were in the 30s in a lot of places, but our normal low is 41, so we were pretty much on target. Tomorrow morning is going to be warm. We'll have more cloud cover. Of course, we have the rain that's headed our way for tomorrow afternoon. Friday's chilly at 40, Saturday's 45, so cooler, but definitely not out of character for this time of year. For Friday morning, from the Triangle area westward, we have just a very small frost threat, and we're to that time of year. Matter of fact, I had somebody ask me just about an hour ago, can I go ahead and plant? And I said, give it 3 more weeks. Our average last frost and freeze is in the early part of April. So, give it at least until that second week of April before you plant too much. But, if it does get cold, unexpectedly, you can always cover things. Winds are pretty comfortable out here right now. Our wind is southwest right now at about 5 to 7 miles per hour. We do have a brush fire risk from the Triangle area west. westward. From Raleigh eastward, we saw a lot more rain on Sunday, and so the soil is a lot more moist. It's a lot drier to the west where we just didn't see as much rain. So that's why we have the fire danger again. Pollen count is high for trees, but it will keep on going and going and going. It's nowhere near as high as it's going to get. The biggest change that I've seen this week is that the pine pollen is now showing up. I haven't seen that nasty yellow pine pollen on my car just yet, but some folks in our southern counties may be seeing that already. Nice and dry and beautiful, gorgeous. I can't say enough about what a pretty, just fabulous day it is. But tomorrow we have rain in the forecast after lunchtime. So starting at around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm going to walk you through Futurecast just in case you missed it at the beginning of the newscast. I'll walk you through it so you can plan. It looks like it's going to be a pretty messy evening commute for us tomorrow. But we get into the weekend and we're dry again. If you're headed out to the Courage versus Seattle rain game Saturday at 7 o'clock, temperatures will be great. 63 at 7 o'clock, and a sweatshirt definitely as we drop into the 50s before the game is over. Our big weather story, of course, tomorrow is the chance of some showers or thunderstorms, but no severe weather likely. And then after that, it's a fairly calm weekend with temperatures not too far from normal.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Elizabeth. Harvesting Hope coming up on WRAL News at 4. Farmers across the Triangle are stepping up to help their neighbors in western North Carolina. The relief they're sending to help rebuild devastated farmland.
Plus, at 5, child care cuts. Head Start child care programs take a hit. The threats facing local child care. And restaurants versus AI. Next, some of the popular fast food chains that plan on incorporating the technology and when we could see it happen.
Plus, allergy capitals next, where Raleigh ranks on the list of cities as spring and pollen season approaches.
Artificial intelligence could be coming to a drive-thru near you. Yum Brands, which owns restaurants like KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut, is partnering with technology chip maker NVIDIA. Now, it plans to use the AI tech in a restaurant, drive-thrus, and call center operations. Yum Brands says it has already piloted the technology at a handful of Taco Bell and Pizza Hut locations in the U.S. Hundreds more restaurants are expected to be brought on board in the spring. Dollar General is planning to close nearly 100 stores across the nation in the first quarter of this year. In addition to closing 96 Dollar General stores, the company will also shut down 45 of its Pop Shelf stores. No word on if any of these stores are in North Carolina or the Triangle. The closures represent less than 1% of the company's overall store base.
A new report shows more young adults are falling victim to phishing scams. The Wall Street Journal reports 2 recent studies on social media users 16 to 29. The findings show 82% of young adults fell for a phishing link at least once, especially those mimicking messages from friends or family members. To avoid being scammed, you should confirm with a person through a different messaging option if the link is actually coming from them. And new rules could make it more complicated for some people to collect their Social Security benefits. The Trump administration says they're trying to reduce fraud. Starting March 31st, people who cannot prove their identity online will be required to visit a field office. Beneficiaries will also be banned from changing their bank account information by phone. That's starting on March 29th.
State budget proposal. Next, Governor Josh Stein's plans for our state during his term and why some lawmakers might not be on board with it.
And easing the burden, how a new donation to Duke Health is being used to help people with everyday needs as they fight cancer. And as we head to break, here are your winning NC Education lottery numbers. Good luck.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
This morning, Governor Josh Stein unveiled his proposed budget for the next 2 years. He's calling for a $33.6 billion spending plan for the upcoming fiscal year. WRAL Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie was at that event and joins us live from the Albemarle building in downtown Raleigh. Laura, what did Stein lay out as his priorities for this?
Yeah, Michelle, Governor Josh Stein is calling for more spending in some areas like teacher raises and also child tax credits. But he's also calling on state lawmakers to hit pause on a series of scheduled tax cuts that are supposed to happen over the next few years. Stein's $33.6 billion proposal includes a 10.6% average raise for teachers. That's over 2 years, a 2% average raise and $1,000 bonus for state employees, and a 2% one-time bonus for retirees. Stein would pay for that in part by ending school vouchers for higher income families and phasing out vouchers completely over the next decade or so. He also wants to add new child and child care tax credits and bring back the back to school sales tax holiday. In 2021, state lawmakers voted to make a series of small cuts to corporate and income tax rates every year or two over the coming decade. Some of those cuts have already gone into effect. But Stein says lawmakers didn't take into account the inflation that we've experienced. He said the next round of cuts will leave the state with a budget shortfall by 2027.
I'm simply calling on the General Assembly to freeze them, not to raise them, just freeze them. Just maintaining the current level of individual and corporate tax rate rather than recklessly walking to the edge of the fiscal cliff and then stepping off it.
Now, it's important to keep this in context because the governor does not write the budget, state lawmakers do, and lawmakers often don't give governors very much of what they ask for. House and Senate members are scheduled to meet tomorrow morning to review the governor's proposal. Laura Leslie, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Chris Lovingood here in the WRAL Live Center. Within the past 10 minutes or so, we received the new numbers from the state regarding flu cases in our state. So I've put some information together for you here in the WRAL Live Center. Here's what we know so far. The total amount of flu deaths reported right now is 426 in our state. 13 adults in the last week and then one child. We know that one of those, that child who died, I should say, was in the 5 to 17 age range. And there were at least 301 deaths that are in the 65 plus age group of the numbers that we've been reporting. I should mention that with these flu cases, 3.6% of emergency department visits in the last week were for flu cases. It's actually down from the previous week. And then 492 hospital admissions were reported as well. Of course, we try to bring you these numbers as soon as we have them here on WRAL News. Next week, we'll do the exact same thing.
Still a very real concern. All right, Chris, thanks. Today, lawmakers in Raleigh will discuss a bill cracking down on surprise billing practices by hospitals. The state Senate will debate a bill that aims to increase transparency for patients and lower their bills. The Senate passed similar proposals in 2021 and 23, but those bills were not taken up by the House.
A $150,000 donation will help ease the burdens of household bills for women while they undergo cancer treatment at Duke Health in Wake County. The nonprofit One of Us presented a check to leaders at Duke Women's Cancer Care Raleigh yesterday. The donation will provide patients who demonstrate financial need with up to $1,500 per year to pay everyday expenses, including rent, child care, and transportation. Stacey McLean was just 33 years old when she was first diagnosed with breast cancer. It has since spread to her brain. The mother of two from Fayetteville says she had to give up work and struggled financially until Duke Health connected her with these funds.
I have a limited income. Losing my business was a big hit, and I got no warning. Cancer didn't say, hey, you won't be able to do the things that you've been doing for 19 years. My income was just snatched from me.
One of Us was started by a local breast cancer survivor and has donated $120,000 to Duke Women's Cancer Care Raleigh since 2021. That money has provided financial support to 100 patients over the last 3 years.
Your child's school experience may change a bit next year as the superintendent of Wake County Schools is suggesting cuts in certain areas to tackle financial challenges. The district is preparing to open 4 new schools while losing millions in federal dollars. Superintendent Robert Taylor is seeking more than $40 million over what the district received last year. His budget proposal looks at cutting employee benefits and select teaching positions. You can share your feedback on the budget at a public hearing April 8th. There'll be 3 other public input sessions as well before the final revisions take place in May. Go to WRAL.com for those locations and times.
Raised crosswalks are finished on St. Mary Street in Raleigh. They are near Clay Street and Brooklyn Street. Final road pavement markings were finished last month. The goal of the project was to help enhance pedestrian safety in this area. The initiative started last year. Raised crosswalks are a traffic calming measure, including helping vehicles slow down, making pedestrians more visible to drivers, and improving accessibility for all abilities. Poland Park's Art Center has a new mural. It's a chalk mural. It was created by Lucy Osborne. The mural goes along with the gallery's theme, Going Home. It depicts illustrated picture frames. You can visit and see the mural until April 17th. It is free and open to the public. That's pretty cool. Well, Fayetteville will host its first ever Lego convention this fall.
Yeah, mark your calendars for this one. The Fayetteville Brick Convention will be held at Crown Complex September 28th and 29th. Professional Lego artists from all across the country will come and display their Lego creations and meet with fans. Brick Convention is the largest organizer of Lego fan conventions across the U.S. They host 25 large conventions each year, and tickets are on sale for it now.
Just whatever you do, don't step on one.
First of its kind surgery. Next up, how one North Carolina hospital is hoping to help multiple children across the state with a new technique.
And record-breaking heat. Next, what a new report found when it comes to how hot temperatures are getting across all of the U.S. And for news, traffic, and weather of the day, make sure to download the WRAL News app.
Our teacher of the week initially taught English, but ultimately figured out math was her calling.
WRAL's Ken Smith is in Franklin County to surprise a teacher who's been playing and winning the numbers game in the classroom for more than 25 years.
Parentheses live on the outside of the grid.
Kathleen Harrison takes pride in knowing she is a factor in her students' understanding of math.
What was the 5 minus the 12?
Even when the terms and numbers appear a bit tricky, she's been at it for 27 years.
Some of these kids I taught their parents, some of the teachers that are down the hall, I taught them, Our assistant principal was one of my students, one of my first students here at Lewisburg High School. So yeah, I just love the people.
Harrison heads the math department at Lewisburg Magnet High School in Franklin County. While we were there, one of her students told us he passed his math class because of Miss Harrison. And interestingly enough, she used to teach a different subject.
When I first started out teaching, I actually taught English. And I think that was part of the problem, is that I loved English as a subject, but I loved teaching math.
Harrison says her greatest joy isn't just when students experience an aha moment, but rather the long-term effect of that light bulb experience.
Seeing where they were when they started out and the perseverance that they develop and the confidence that they can actually do it.
Miss Harrison, you are WRAL's Teacher of the Week. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Give her a hand. Ken Smith, WRAL News.
If you would like to nominate a teacher, go to WRAL.com and enter Teacher of the Week in the search box. She would not like me. I am so bad at math.
But I love the original reaction.
I love
there.
it. So sweet.
So organic.
Yeah.
A massive catch here where a group of North Carolina fishermen caught this great white shark.
Plus, it's pollen season. I don't think we had to tell you that, right? It's here. Many of us are feeling it, where Raleigh ranks on the list of allergy capitals in the U.S. ECU Health performed the first pediatric robotic surgery. They used the robot to assist for a gallbladder removal surgery. The doctor says the robot is not doing the work for them, but robotic arms are following instructions. Doctors are controlling the arms and every move it makes. They say it's really a game changer.
It offers the opportunity for patients to get timely care here and to increase their trust in what we offer at this hospital, that we're keeping up with the nation and what's the cutting edge.
Robotics have been used at ECU Health for some time now. There's special training involved for doctors who use it.
Two fishermen are celebrating the catch of a lifetime on the Outer Banks. A great white shark. Right here, take a look at this. Nearly 13-foot-long great white shark reeled in at Cape Hatteras Saturday. It's very rare, and it may be the largest great white ever caught in North Carolina while fishing from the beach. These guys, fishermen Luke Beard and Jason Rosenfeld, along with a whole team of supporters there, safely released that fish as quickly as possible.
I was about in tears after we released that fish because, I mean, you never know if you're ever going to be able to do that in your lifetime.
Or why, really? About 1,500 pounds worth of shark right there. Took 35 minutes to reel it in. The team was very careful not to injure the shark or themselves. What a catch. That is a fishtail right there. This time of year, bear encounters may increase, and North Carolina wildlife officials want to keep you safe. So the Wildlife Commission wants to remind you to avoid approaching or touching bears or bear cubs. If you see a bear cub alone, it is likely mom is not too far away and will be back. It's illegal in our state to capture a black bear cub, by the way. To avoid getting hurt, wildlife leaders say don't attempt to catch them, don't feed them, and take note of your location and call the NC Wildlife Helpline to report it.
Well, new reports show the past decade has been the hottest on record, and believe it or not, last year was the hottest of all in nearly 200 years of record keeping. The data comes from annual reports from the World Meteorological Organization. The report shows in 2024, our planet's surface was more than 1.5 degrees Celsius warmer than its average from 1850 to 1900. And that being said, spring is on the way and pollen exposure picking up nationwide. And you might already be feeling it because Raleigh made the top 10 list of most difficult places to live with seasonal allergies. A nonprofit is calling them allergy capitals, and Raleigh is number 7 on the list. Greensboro is number 10. But for the top spot, that's Wichita, Kansas, and that's for the 3rd year in a row. The report says it has higher than average tree and grass pollen. New Orleans came in 2nd place. But not hard to believe because, you know, we are feeling the effects of the pollen already. But we have a beautiful day today. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner out on the weather patio. What a great day to be outside. I mean, get out. It's gorgeous.
It really is. I mean, just a phenomenal day. Humidity is low. The temperature feels great. There's a lovely breeze blowing around. And it looks so pretty in the gardens behind me. The trees are in bloom. It'll be, you know, again, 2-3 weeks the most before we're seeing the azaleas. So it's time to come for a visit here. And of course, we welcome you anytime between dusk and between dawn and dusk. We take a look at the gardens behind me and you can see those. You can see this tree right behind me. And then, of course, another one there off. It's just so pretty. You know, it is that time of year when we tend to see a fairly active pattern, meaning more rain and sometimes severe storms. This next system, notice how much snow is with this. This is more almost like a winter type system. We're not likely to see severe storms here, but parts of the country will, especially up closer to Chicago, and you can kind of see where the low is. And the cold air wrapping around behind this, of course, is creating a good bit of snow. Our next weather maker will bring us some scattered showers and a few isolated thunderstorms during the afternoon tomorrow, late afternoon into the evening, starting around 3 or 4 o'clock. And so it's going to be right during the evening commute. So this may end up being a WRAL weather alert day just for the impacts to the evening commute. We could have some pockets of heavy rain, but we're not likely to see severe storms here. Here's Futurecast, and we may start tomorrow morning with a little bit of sunshine just briefly, and then we see the clouds really thickening up. At 2 o'clock, we're beginning to see that line develop back to our west, but big difference between, say, 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, almost the whole viewing area is seeing rain, and some of that may be heavy at times. You can see the yellow and the orange shaded areas there. So that's 4 o'clock, and then there's 6 o'clock. So right in the middle of the evening commute, looks like it when it could be the heaviest. At this point, the models are not real excited about this being a whole lot of rain, but it's interesting. I feel like there's, it's showing up pretty heavy here on this version of the model, and then when you look at the numbers the model's spitting out, the numbers are a little lower. So, you know, we'll see. I tell you what, the last system that came through on Sunday. The models weren't printing out a ton of rain for that, and we saw 2 to 4 inches. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow. There is a severe weather threat just southwest of Chicago there. That's a level 3 out of 5 risk and a level 1 risk down along the Mississippi Valley. But we don't have any risk for severe storms posted here yet. We'll watch that. We'll let you know if that happens to change. Here's a look at our rainfall potential out of Futurecast as this moves on through during the afternoon on Thursday. Anywhere from around 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 an inch, that 1/2 an inch there in South Hill. I feel like maybe those numbers are a little on the low side though, so just watch out. Oh, I was going to show you that really pretty view of Boone where they're seeing a day that looks just like this, and then look at what happens tomorrow night. Snow in the forecast there in Boone and all up and down the mountains. Outdoor plans over the weekend, green light both days, Saturday and Sunday. We're trending drier for Saturday. There was some rain in the forecast for Saturday earlier in the week. Now Friday's going to be on the cooler side at 63, but lovely for the weekend, 71 on Saturday and 67 on Sunday.
It's pretty gorgeous, Elizabeth. Thank you. This is a rare sight. Up next, where you'll have the chance to see one of the planets in our sky this week.
And here are last night's winning Mega Millions numbers. Good luck.
We wrap things up with a look at a few of the headlines we're following for you today. This is breaking news at noon. A man is dead after 2 Pinehurst police officers shot him. Authorities say the man had an axe. Police say this started as a call for a report of a suspicious person. They say the man had an axe and came rushing at them. The 2 officers then fired shots. The man was taken to the hospital where he died. Investigators have not released his name. The police department is holding a news conference about this incident in about 30 minutes at 1:30. You can watch it live on WRAL.com.
Crews are still searching for a 7-year-old who disappeared in the Tar River. This as it enters its 3rd day. Sky 5 flew over the scene this morning in Franklin County, where crews returned this morning with cadaver dogs. The boy fell into the river Monday afternoon and did not resurface. Crews have been using boats and drones to try and find him.
Raising the age to buy vape and tobacco products. That's the goal of new legislation lawmakers just filed. The bill would put North Carolina in line with federal law, increasing the age to buy those products from 18 to 21. The sponsors call the proposal Solly's Law in remembrance of a North Carolina teenager who died from vaping.
A rare celestial event is underway from now through Friday. The planet Venus will be visible in both the morning and evening skies. This happens a few days before the planet passes between the Earth and the sun. Venus will be slightly above the sun after sunset and before sunrise. You won't need any special equipment to look at it. This will not happen until 2033, so try to go outside and see that. It's pretty cool.
Start of the NCAA tournament. A lot of fans are headed to the Triangle this week to attend games, and they are getting a special welcome at RDU International. The airport shared these pictures online showing us the signs they've put up around the terminals. You have a chance this weekend to see 20 teams around our area in the Triangle, 8 of them playing at the Lenovo Center, including Duke men's basketball, and that'll be in Raleigh Friday and Sunday.
And that brings us to today's pet of the day. Meet Steven Narodosic. Just like his name, who is a gymnast on Team USA, he swings and climbs around his cage ever since he was little. He is playful and lives up to his crazy orange cat reputation. If you would like to meet this exciting little guy, just fill out an application on the Cat Angels website. That's on the bottom of your screen. A volunteer will be in touch with you. It's sweet.
Damaged land, acres flooded in western North Carolina in need of rebuilding. Today on WRAL News at 4, the grassroots operation now underway to help deliver truckloads of much needed aid.